Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the CertiK Security Leaderboard Showcase. My name is Jesse. I'm your host for this series. As you all know, in this showcase, I host a project for a live AMA where we discuss their work with CertiK, the Security Leaderboard, and we throw in some questions submitted from you, the viewers. Our goal is to raise the level of security and transparency across the entire Web3 ecosystem. The Security Leaderboard, found at CertiK.com, is a free tool to help you safely navigate the blockchain world. It's one of the many tools in the CertiK security suite that secures the Web3 world. Today's featured project, which we've had a lot of excitement about, is CoreDAO, which recently underwent an audit by CertiK. I think we have a little video to play here, so let's take a look at that.
Auditing is a complicated and essential step in the security process. At CertiK, we review the top DeFi projects to help you better understand the findings from our experts. CoreDAO is the official decentralized organization developing the Satoshi Plus ecosystem. CoreDAO's mission is to build the strongest and most inclusive community in Web3. This audit covers CoreDAO on the Ethereum platform. The summary describes the audit and the types of analyses used. Overview shows the programming language, the blockchain used, and a link to the project's codebase. The vulnerability summary lists issues that need resolution. Audit scope displays which contracts were audited. Findings highlight all issues and ranks them in terms of severity from critical to discussion. In this audit, we found 0 critical, 1 major, 0 medium, 3 minor, and 8 informational issues. CoreDAO has resolved 7 of the issues. Visit CertiK.com for the full report.
You can take a look at that audit report at CertiK.com and examine the findings and the alleviations to those issues proposed by the CoreDAO team. So today we've got Brendan Cito from CoreDAO on the show to tell us some more about the project. Thank you for coming on the show, Brendan.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Yeah, looking forward to it. We've had a lot of interest about this. So how about we start with what's the ideology behind Core? What problems is CoreDAO solving?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for having us, and kudos to your social team. You guys have done an incredible job. So it's exciting to be part of this. So Core's got a really interesting story. You asked about the ideology. It was really the result of a debate between two friends. So one of which was, at the time, a bit of an Ethereum maxi, really excited about the composability and smart contracts in Ethereum. The other was what you would call almost a Bitcoin maxi. And the two were basically having a debate about the future 3 years ago. And where that debate kind of led was to the creation of Core, which is taking the best of both of those worlds. So taking the composability of Ethereum with the decentralization and security that Bitcoin and specifically proof of work provides. So that was the genesis of Core. And they felt it really was the first solution to solve what we call the blockchain trilemma, and not have to make trade-offs on an L1. So that's really the ideology or how everything started, and it's been a couple years journey.
For sure, interesting to combine the best of both worlds. There, we know the benefits of Bitcoin and its decentralization, and Ethereum's open source composability and functionality. So CoreDAO uses a sort of novel consensus mechanism, Satoshi Plus. How does this differ from other consensus mechanisms that viewers might be familiar with, like proof of work and proof of stake?
Yeah, it's a great question. That's really the differentiation with CoreDAO, compared to other, complete proof of stake L1s or EVM chains. So the Satoshi Plus is really interesting, and it is novel in that it actually combines both proof of work and proof of stake. So we run validators who are confirming the network, and they actually take in delegated proof of work from mining pools. So they're actually delegating their hash rate. And then we also have a delegated proof of stake component. So users can delegate their core as well, like any other delegated proof of stake system. So what that means is we then have a very unique scoring system for the validators that takes both proof of work and proof of stake into account. And that's a different mathematical model. And basically that results in a very decentralized, secure consensus mechanism that's different than what we've seen from anything else out there.
Interesting. That's it's good to see the innovation happening on multiple levels there. And if you head over to the CoreDAO webpage, you can actually see the number of miners that are securing the network. How have you managed to onboard millions of miners to the ecosystem?
Yeah, great question. So I should clarify. No, I would love to have millions of miners on board, Bitcoin miners, and obviously we're working towards that. We're with the mining pools as well. But on our website, when we say miners, we actually mean those are users pre-mining core. So you may have noticed we have like an amazing community, right? Incredible
Absolutely.
Discord, Twitter, very engaged base. A lot of people that really believe in the ethos of core. And what you see there is basically we've partnered with an app called the Satoshi app to basically pre-mine a bunch of core tokens that are going to come out with the eventual mainnet launch and community airdrop that we'll be doing. So to clarify, those are not actually Bitcoin miners. We call those miners users that are mining core. And we're really excited about this launch. We actually see it as one of the fairest launches since Ethereum. We don't have any VC insiders. We're dropping, a significant portion to these early users and airdrop directly to the community. So it's something that we're really excited about. And again, kind of goes back to the ethos of crypto that we really haven't seen in years, frankly.
Very cool. Can you tell us any more about that launch? Are there any dates you can release? Or yeah.
Well, I wish we'll kind of do a bit of a teaser here. We're obviously very close. That's probably there's probably a ton of questions around that. All I can say is that we're very close. As you can see, we just completed our audits with CertiK, Least Authority, and Halborn. We pretty much have a green light. So all I can say is that it's coming very soon, and we're really excited about what's coming.
It's good to hear. Good to hear that you're prioritizing security before launch as well, and making sure it's a complete finished project before it hits mainnet. Now, obviously, you've got DAO in the project name, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So governance and community engagement is clearly important to the team. How can people get involved with Core and contribute and get involved with the project?
Yeah, it's a great question. And with this huge community comes a lot of talent and amazing people that are part of the community. So in terms of I can just talk to the contributors now. We're spread out all over the world. And we have some brilliant people working on Core in all areas. As we grow and as we launch here at mainnet, we definitely want to engage the DAO even more. We definitely don't have a maxi philosophy in any way around Core. We just have a lot of people excited about the technology and the community itself. So how can people get involved? We have an amazing Discord. If you haven't joined, I think we're getting really close to 150K members. There are roles you can apply for. We are actively submitting proposals and projects that people can work on and what they can contribute to the DAO. We're also open to ideas. We've got a really vibrant ideas channel. We've got a partnerships channel. So there's a variety of ways, and we're looking to really engage this huge community to help and grow this contributor community over the coming months.
For sure. That's one of the best things about Web3 is people can get involved and contribute what they can and benefit from the experience and talent of others.
We're like one example, just to chime in, like we're running, this is very simple, but we ran a little NFT contest, got some amazing contributions from the community who came up with some pretty rad designs. And I know we're coming pretty close to the final votes there, but just a small example of ways that people can contribute.
That's good to hear. Good to hear that you got people getting involved already. And so obviously an NFT project. And what other applications and services can people expect on Core after your mainnet launch?
Yeah, so I think it's just important to note, like we can mention some of the projects for sure. The most important thing is though, at launch, like we're fully functional. We're a fully functional EVM chain, literally a fork of GETH. So you can really do anything from a development standpoint and from a user standpoint. So I just want to make that clear. So we're really excited about that. We'll have full functionality on mainnet launch. From there, we've got a variety of DeFi products launching. You'll be able to swap. There'll be some more news soon around bridging, which we're really excited about. So that's another teaser. You can expect something from us in the next couple of days around some bridging solutions. And then there's quite a few exciting NFT projects. There was one that just sold out their pre-mint on testnet, I think within minutes, and that's going live on mainnet when we launch. So there's a bunch of exciting projects launching come day one, and then we're really just trying to build on the table stakes functionality thereafter, right? There's a million things that we can do. We just can't do it all from the start. We really just want the pun intended core features from the start, and we're going to build on top of that. So we're really excited. Obviously, you can stake as well. Mint NFTs. There's going to be a lot of cool things coming.
That's good to hear that you're building out the infrastructure that will help people get involved, and bridges as well. I mean, we've from a security angle, we've seen the importance of bridges and also the value that they can provide to alternate chains, and also the risks of sort of launching before these might be ready for full adoption, and the vulnerabilities that can ensue from insecure bridges. So yeah, security is really such a priority for infrastructure and for getting people feeling safe and willing to transact on your chain and everything. And I took a look at your white paper, and I came across a great phrase. You said that Satoshi carved scarcity out of the stone of abundance, and this might be a bit more of a philosophical question behind core, but I just wondered if you could talk about how scarcity enables abundance. That's in Web3 and core more generally. What's the relationship there?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll do my best to answer it because I didn't personally write the white paper, but obviously we talk about this as one of the values here within core. So really, the philosophical piece to that is, we actually have a hard cap on the core tokens, similar to the 21 million hard cap in Bitcoin. We also have a hard cap, and forgive me, it's 2.1 or 21 billion tokens. I think it's 21 billion tokens. So we're excited about having a very sound money source in the age of kind of infinite scalability and technology costs going down. We really wanted to take the sound money principles that Bitcoin created and input that in core. So to be clear, there's going to be a hard cap on the core supply as a clear sound money source, and that's really what we meant by that in the white paper.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's good to hear. Good to hear that the community can be guaranteed a hard cap and not infinite inflation of the token supply. Let's turn now to security. You've already mentioned the commitment that your project has to security. Why did you go with CertiK to audit your smart contracts?
We just loved the name. The name CertiK was great. No, just kidding. Really with CertiK, you guys are one of the most trusted names in the space. It was really an easy choice for us to be one of the audit partners. We just felt you guys were a very trusted, well-renowned name in the space. So that's why we went with you guys, and we wanted nothing but the best. I may be leading into security a bit more, but security is crucial in Web3. We're really relying on code, right? And there's a lot of benefits to that, smart contracts and code, but you really need to measure, 3 times and cut once.
For sure.
Especially with a big launch like we're having. So yeah, we really just wanted to go with the best. And as you saw, we had multiple audit partners. We really wanted to make sure that we were, secure and in a great spot before launching. And, we've developed a brand new consensus mechanism as well. So with that, came a lot of work, obviously, to make sure that it's working properly and it's secure.
Right. Yeah. Anytime you implement a sort of a new feature or anything like that, you really want to make sure that it's been battle tested and proven to be safe. And it's such an important value for the community as well. I think knowing that a project takes security seriously is such an incentive to get involved and know that you're not going to be exposing yourself to any risks that you're not aware of. And that's why the audit reports, I think, are so important, because people can really take a look at the audit report, read it for themselves, see the findings, see what remediations and alleviations your team has implemented, and make a decision from there.
Yeah, totally. And we have a huge community, right? So it'd be super irresponsible to just, obviously we want to get things out as quickly as we can, but in crypto, I think what we've learned over the past few years is to just, make sure things are done right. And especially when, we're going to be airdropping, I believe 8 million addresses.
Wow.
8 million addresses are going to have core upon mainnet launch. That's a huge responsibility, right? So we just really wanted to make sure that things are in a great spot. And we take our community really seriously and want to do the best by them.
Right, there's a real responsibility there when you're getting user deposits and things like that, and you want to take that responsibility seriously and prioritize security. So obviously, Core is going to have some DeFi protocols built on top of it. Would you say that DeFi is inherently safer than CeFi? What are the risks you see and the comparative advantages there?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I come from a bit of a CeFi world in a way. Have worked in tech for over a decade and have launched, traditional financial products,
Yep.
but more targeted at small businesses. It's hard to say, right? I think that there's benefits to some CeFi programs in a way, in that, you may have some insurance, the big centralized providers can make things right, but a lot of times they can't. I think the value of DeFi is just the abstraction from gatekeepers, the simplicity, the speed, the ability to do things on your own, kind of that self-sovereign angle.
Yeah.
And is it safer? I think long term, it should be incredibly safe. We're obviously seeing some hacks, et cetera, but the reality of crypto is it's still pretty new. We're still learning. I think people are taking security a lot more seriously now. So I think they're both inherently safe. I prefer the crypto angle because, I just like to own my own funds and do what I want. I like the sovereign angle. I don't like gatekeepers and centralized middlemen per se, right? So I think they both have their pros and cons. It's kind of a nuanced answer, obviously. But I think that DeFi protocols should get safer and safer as long as security is taken seriously moving forward.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's why we're all here, the self-sovereign, sort of removing the middlemen. And those are all major benefits to a lot of people around the world. And I think you're right. The Web3 can be safer and is in many cases safer and removes a lot of the risks. But there are some other risks involved with self-custody and interacting with smart contracts directly that need to be addressed through a proper approach to security. And that's how we get to the adoption and everything that we all think the space is capable of.
For sure. And I mean, we've beaten the FTX thing to death here, but that was there's risk in centralized entities too, right? There's human risk, and that's the beauty of crypto and blockchain is obviously there can be errors and issues with code, but generally they're not making these human fallible errors per se, right? And subjective mistakes. So again, both have pros and cons, but I'm obviously in crypto for a reason and excited about the future of DeFi.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure. So your community has been anticipating the release of your audit results for a while now. Is there anything you'd like to highlight from your CertiK audit? Just bring that to the attention of your community.
You know what? It's hard for me to go into too much detail there, but all I'll say is that I appreciate the community's patience. We're a lot of our contributing team is in the Discord. We're monitoring what people are saying. We're trying to do best by the community, and we know that this has been a while, a couple months of delay. So we just really appreciate that they were patient. And, we've been working really hard, and you can obviously tell by the report. I think we were ranked like pretty highly, correct? One of the top ranked projects, that's for a reason. We worked really hard and took security very seriously, and have a very talented team. So again, just appreciate the patience from the community. Everything's rolling. We're getting there. We really appreciate you guys, and we're going to do right by you all for sticking with us and believing in the core values of Core.
The core values of Core. I like that.
Yeah, the core is funny. As I do more of these speaking, I think that's why we chose Core. It's just such a core word.
Plenty of pun opportunities for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go now to some community questions, some audience submissions. So we'll try and stay away from token price. I see in the chat that there's a lot of discussion about that, but a bit more generally. So obviously this year has seen a decline in the market value of cryptocurrency more generally. How has Core managed to keep building and to be releasing at this time in the broader sort of market climate?
Yeah, great question. We've obviously had to remain a little lean. And what I mean by lean is, we're not spreading cash around. We don't have a huge treasury, nor have we raised VC funds. And that was a very intentional decision. We wanted to be different than all the other chains, raising boatloads of capital and enriching insiders. So again, that's made it tough in some ways, but we felt that sticking to the values of and ethos of crypto was more important. So how have we been able to do that? We've just had a very lean team. We're not spreading money around. As you know, there's a lot of chains with huge grant programs, paying lots of money to get projects on board. We've really had to get creative there. We've struck initial partnerships based on the size and engagement in our community, right? Because a lot of projects, ultimately, they want users, right? They want people if you're building something, the best feeling is when someone actually uses it. So we've had to, really be creative and leverage that for partnerships. Post mainnet launch, obviously there's no token yet. We should at least have a treasury, right? So at that point we can get a bit more creative with grant programs and increase the size of our contributors. Which we're excited about. But up until now, it's just been about being lean and creative with how to get this to launch and our initial partnerships. And we're really proud of what we've done because, again, we're coming out with one of the fairest drops, what we think has happened in years.
And so after your mainnet launch and the airdrop, what will be the utility of the token and what will determine its value in the ecosystem?
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be similar to other L1 chains, right? So obviously, you'll use Core token to perform functions directly in the Core ecosystem. To stake and earn rewards, to interact with DeFi protocols, to buy NFTs, to play games. So the utility is similar to, like an Ethereum. We are an EVM chain, so it's similar to like an Ethereum style gas type model. It's really like the utility and gas to do things on the chain. Speculation is cool, but we want to provide real utility within the chain, and we ultimately want the price tied to how much people are actually using Core. And we have a great head start with millions of users.
8 million wallets for the airdrop.
Cool projects launching come mainnet, and we're assuming we'll get a lot more projects after. So, we see the price tied to its utility and how much usage is happening on chain.
For sure. Yeah, it makes sense. An Ethereum-like token used for gas and just operations in the ecosystem.
100%.
Twitter user Julian3426 wants to know, how does a project like Core balance the very necessary decentralization that makes this space what it is with the centralization that comes from having a team that releases and controls the smart contracts? And how do you minimize centralization in CoreDAO?
Yeah, it's a great question. First of all, that Twitter handle is awesome. That's like a great throwaway account or something. That's awesome. It's like the Greg account, Greg23 whatever.
Right.
Okay, but how have we been able to do that? We have a spread out team that is, kind of collaborating asynchronously, generally over Discord and Slack. So the thing I need to clarify is, at the start, I don't know if the right term is centralization, but you need a bit of a more coordinated effort at the beginning to get things launched. So this initial contributing team came together and has contributed together and kind of worked in lockstep in a very small team. And you need a bit more oversight to get everything launched. After launch, we want more contributors on board. We're going to kind of like spread out a lot of the tasks, and it'll progressively get more and more decentralized. I'd say we're extremely decentralized already, but all I want to highlight is to get like the initial blockchain built and out, you just need a bit more of a coordinated effort with this kind of remote decentralized team. But over time, we're going to be even more decentralized.
Right, and on the smart contract level, there are things you can do like time locks and multi-signatures and having
from that standpoint, everything will be multi-sig. The community is going to be able to see all the wallets, the payouts, etc. We'll be operating, like any other DAO in crypto land.
Good to hear. Yeah, and that transparency is super important for the space as a whole. And once again, I just encourage everybody check out the audit report and get informed about how the contracts work and what you're getting involved in. Got one last question from the audience. What would you say the 3 killer features of Core are upon your launch?
3, hey?
Let's see how many you got.
Yeah, I think the main feature, which we've called out, is the Satoshi Plus consensus mechanism. It's just brilliant, right? It's combining the best aspects of Ethereum and Bitcoin. We have this composable, and I think I've mentioned this, but we are an EVM compatible chain, right? So any builder in the EVM space can easily port their app onto Core with minimal amounts of not minimal amounts of work, but it's very, very easy to get the project onto Core. So again, the biggest piece is the consensus, right? The composability of an EVM chain with this really novel way of incorporating proof of work and adding decentralization and security into our consensus mechanism. So the way we're running validators, scoring validators, paying out is just, it really goes back to the ethos of crypto, right? It's very decentralized, secure, but now you can do a bunch of things and on apps and compose apps and things like that. So that's the killer feature, frankly. Other than that, we got to give a shout out to the community, right? Like, we're launching with millions of people. That's really powerful. So we're going to have people staking. We're going to have people. A lot of our community is actually new to crypto, which I think is really exciting. It's kind of like their first step. So we feel like this cool responsibility and a lot of excitement around teaching people how to set up a MetaMask, how to stake, how to mint an NFT. We're kind of like bringing a bunch of new people into crypto and showing the power of what you can do in crypto. So we're really excited about that. In terms of the third piece, I'm not really sure, frankly.
2 killer apps is probably enough.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We have great security. We have great security partners, who crushed it for us. And I think we did a great job.
A lot of questions in the chat. I'm just wondering, is CoreDAO do you have any plans to undergo team member KYC just to give that extra level of assurance to your community about the verified identities of the people behind the project?
Yeah, that's a great question. We likely will. But the one thing is we're a pretty decentralized team at this point. And so we're not, there's no issue around sharing identities, which I think, that's a great question. I can go back to the team on, and we'll likely share that. I think the big thing for us is we don't necessarily want one person. Like, as you notice, I'm not scared to necessarily show my face, but we have the Core logo. When we think of like a decentralized community and chain, we don't really want like one person to be on the spotlight. We're really trying to highlight like a bigger decentralized team. And it's really about the DAO and the users themselves, because we're a very decentralized team. There isn't necessarily going to be like one decision maker. So that's why we're just like, when we come out with content, even when we're tweeting, it really comes from CoreDAO, comes from the community itself, and the decentralized community. So that was like a bit of a long-winded response. So yes, we will likely share who's contributing with CoreDAO. No, we're not going to have one person necessarily represent Core or two, because we see this as bigger than a couple people. It's a decentralized, massive community building up this awesome ecosystem.
Good to hear. Good to hear. That's about all we have time for today. Are there any last words you'd like to leave the audience with? I know everybody's looking forward to the airdrop and mainnet launch.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to CertiK. Thank you for having us on and the great questions. And just doing a great job on social media too. It's just been fun. It's been a fun couple of days. And the community, I think, is really engaged with that. So that's been fun. Closing thoughts are thank you. Thank you again to CertiK. Thanks to the community for being super patient with us. Technology takes time. We were just trying to really, cross the T's and dot the I's. Mainnet is coming very soon. I can't give an exact date just yet, but the teaser is everything's going to plan, and it will be coming very soon, and we'll have details for you all. So just remain patient. We're super excited for that, and the airdrop coming very soon.
It's more important to do it properly than to rush it out before it's ready. So I'm glad you're taking your time with it, and we're all looking forward to mainnet launch.
Appreciate it.
Thanks Brendan.
Everyone. Thank you.